From a plot focused on Aegon Targaryen to exploring the history of Westeros, here's everything we know about the new Game of Thrones movie spin-off. Fans of the Game of Thrones franchise are going to be able to explore even more of Westeros. According to a Variety report, HBO is actively discussing and planning another prequel to the television series that dominated pop culture. The potential movie and series will follow a storyline that fans of Martin's novellas will be familiar with. The events have also been referenced in both shows because of how significant they are. Doesn't that sound exciting? Sources told Variety that the media company is in the early stages of potentially developing a new Game of Thrones movie. Currently, they are looking for a writer to helm the project. The project may include a feature component that would then lead into a series. The combination of a movie and series would give writers plenty of ground to explore Westeros, as the crucial events predate the shows. That model also mimics the cinematic universe of connected shows and movies, which was made popular by Disney and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. HBO and Warner Brothers may be looking to copy the success of Disney with its properties. This comes after they announced a revamp of their DC universe. With such an expansive fantasy world, it makes sense to capitalize on the IP with films and television series. The long history of Westeros also lends itself to telling multiple stories across different projects. If HBO is successful in this endeavor, fans of the Thrones franchise may also get to enjoy decades of shows and movies. With House of the Dragon in the production stage for its second season, HBO appears to be firing on all cylinders. The spin-off show, which garnered views and praise, is expected to be released on HBO's streaming platform next year. House of the Dragon and the original series Game of Thrones can serve as solid anchoring points for various spin-offs. Though nothing has been confirmed yet, the report also mentions that the project's plans remain in flux. Although it seems like the company is moving forward, the project can still be canceled. What storyline would the project adapt? The sources told Variety that HBO is currently looking to base the new project on Aegon Targaryen's conquest of Westeros. If you're unfamiliar with the storyline, it sees Aegon and his sister wives, Visenya and Rhaenys, use their army and dragons to conquer Westeros. They're able to conquer 6 of the 7 kingdoms, with the exception being Dorne. Although they didn't conquer Dorne, they united the kingdom under one rule, a feat that hadn't been achieved before. The titular character, who is also referred to as Aegon the Conqueror, goes on to become the first king of Westeros, founder of the Targaryen dynasty and the first to sit on the Iron Throne. With the Targaryen dynasty being the longest reign over the land, there's a lot the show writers could work with and introduce to the fans. It's also important to note that this key historical event has been referenced throughout both shows. The character, Aegon, has also been mentioned in each of the books the popular shows are based off of, with this storyline taking place approximately 300 years before the events of Game of Thrones. This will be a prequel if the project gets developed into a movie. With that type of time gap, it is unlikely that it will directly influence the main series. In some ways, it has already influenced it. As we touched upon, the events of Aegon's conquest are referenced throughout the original series in different ways. You have members of the Targaryen line who tried to claim the throne. There was the Iron Throne itself, which Aegon sat upon as the first lord of the 7 kingdoms. The Iron Throne is a presence throughout the series and a reminder of those events. However, it could have more direct influences on other prequels or sequels to the main series, with House of Dragon following the direct descendants of the Targaryens. It's possible for the series to reference the events of the Aegon film series. The most likely scenario is that the film will directly focus on the Targaryens amassing their army and conquering Westeros. The series that potentially follows the movie could then explore Westeros under early Targaryen rule. That series could then set up lines of connection with future spin-offs of the main show. With the show being so far in the past, it's unlikely that there will be much overlap in terms of characters. That is why the show will have to focus on historical events that get referenced later on in other series. Using that formula, producers and showrunners could set up satisfying payoffs that would tie all the shows and movies together. Many fans who are familiar with the story of Aegon the Conqueror have expressed excitement about the potential movie. But that excitement also comes with a valid question. Why didn't House of the Dragon start with this story of Aegon's conquest? The prequel we received certainly showed us Thrones fans new parts of George R.R. Martin's world. but it has been expressed that starting with the Dance of the Dragons had some moments feel out of place. It is argued that Aegon's conquest would have made a better starting point, considering the conquest itself was an eventful war. The show wouldn't lack the violence and bloodshed its predecessors had. There would also be plenty of space for the political theaters and drama that also made the original series so popular. Those who expressed similar sentiments noted that it seemed like a slight misstep on HBO's part. Perhaps this is their way of rectifying that. Maybe the House of the Dragon series was a test run, gauging if fans would still be interested after the controversial Game of Thrones finale. It seems clear now that the interest is still there. With these reports of HBO potentially moving forward with the movie adaptation, fans can at least take solace in the fact that they'll get to experience those events on screen. One of the many things fans are probably looking forward to is the introduction of new or old characters. In both series, a massive dragon skull is shown, and that dragon, Balerion, is referenced. Balerion was one of the dragons Aegon used to conquer Westeros. This dragon's appearance is one of the things that has been built up throughout both series, making it a massive thing the movie could pay off. Another is the creation of the Iron Throne. According to the lore, Aegon took all the weapons surrendered to him. With his dragon's flames, he melded the weapons together to form the imposing Iron Throne as a symbol of his hold on the kingdoms. This is another moment fans are anticipating with the potential movie. Although this storyline may have been better off if it were adapted before the Dance of the Dragons, fans are at least relieved it'll be coming to the big screen. Have any members of Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon reacted to this news? It doesn't seem like they have. With so few details released, there isn't much to react to. It's important to remember that nothing has even been confirmed yet, since this project is still in the earliest stages of development, with the potential Aegon movie being a prequel set hundreds of years in the past. It's also unlikely for any characters from the original series to return. However, many have expressed positive feelings about coming back to reprise their roles. According to some reports, there's also potential for a series following Jon Snow after the events of Game of Thrones. According to George R.R. Martin, the idea came from Kit Harington, who played the beloved character. Has the novelist said anything about this project? He has not. It's possible this hasn't reached him yet because so much is still unconfirmed. Another possibility is that he knows about the potential movie, but isn't able to speak about it yet. Either way, it may be some time before we see any reactions from the cast of either show. With all the information given to Variety by their sources, all signs point to a new movie set in Westeros. With the success of the House of Dragon series, it is likely that HBO will continue to make adaptations. With all these emerging projects, Game of Thrones fans have a lot of media to look forward to. That's everything we know about the new Game of Thrones movie spin-off.